This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Thanks, Nick. I'm certainly disappointed for our coaches and student athletes and Flames Nation who are all looking forward to this game. But at the same time, I support the decision of our medical team who, they're charged with providing care for our student athletes, and that's first and foremost. And again, I support their decision to pause the activity based on the results that we've received.
Thank you, Ian. We'll take questions at this time. We'll start with Damian Sordelet from the Lynchburg News in Advance, and then we'll go to Hank.
Ian, certainly there's a lot of backstory into how things played out. When stuff started popping up this past Sunday, did you get in contact with Coastal Carolina at that time? And how did things with BYU seem to accelerate as the week progressed?
Right. Yeah, we were in communication with Coastal Carolina and College Game Day throughout the week, and we're just transparent about our situation. We let them know early in the week that we had some concerns and gave them daily updates. And we all knew that the tests from yesterday were going to be really key. We tested our whole team on Sunday, got those results back on Monday, and then we knew yesterday's test was going to be significant. And based on those results, again, we knew we couldn't move forward. But I didn't have any communication with BYU, although I did call their athletic director this morning and wish them well in the game.
Next up, let's go to Hank Kurtz from the Associated Press, and then we'll go to John.
Ian, it's hard to quantify what you lose in exposure from not being able to play a game like this. Liberty has never been a College Game Day participant and whatever. How do you minimize the loss that you have from this?
Yeah, again, I think as Coach was saying, we're grateful. Up till now, we've been 10 for 10 in getting games played, and that's certainly we're fortunate. I counted up yesterday when we were going through this. There've been 114 games canceled thus far this season, and we've been fortunate not to be on that list up until now. But this week was an unfortunate one for us. But we've enjoyed obviously the first part of this week, the announcement of College Game Day, the exposure we've gotten through that, and I expect there'll be a lot of discussion about Liberty and how the game kind of came about, and also how the cancellation came about on the Game Day show on Saturday morning. So I look forward to watching that.
What's your sense of how the bowl situation will shake out?
Yeah, we're very hopeful for a bowl opportunity, and certainly very deserving with a 9-1 record and a top 25 ranking. I think bowl games will start to be selected as early as next week. I think it'll be a kind of a staggered basis, and I think, as we know, I believe there are either 9 or 10 games that have been canceled thus far. But again, we remain very hopeful about our opportunities. We'll pause our team, but expect to bring them back sometime next week and prepare for a bowl game.
Do you fear that people will think that you guys bailed on this matchup?
I don't know how they could. I don't know who would bail on an opportunity to play a top 25 game on College Game Day, and that certainly was not the case. As you heard from Coach Freeze, our coaches and our team were very eager to play this game. And obviously we have a great rivalry with Coastal Carolina. It was kind of a dream matchup in many ways. So again, we're disappointed that it didn't come to fruition. But again, we've got to put the health and well-being of our staff and our student athletes first.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hank. Next up, let's go to John Manson from A Sea of Red, then we'll get to Jermaine.
Hey, Ian, Hank and Damien kind of stole my two questions I had, but there has been discussion, on social media about, maybe Liberty and BYU can get something going December 19th because there's an open date. Is that too close to the bowl season? Is that something that maybe there's been conversations about, or what can you say about that?
Yeah, we've certainly contemplated that as a possibility, but it does run into the beginning of the bowl season, and most likely that would be when our bowl game would be on the front end of it. So I think right now we're kind of waiting to see how the bowl situation unfolds, and we'll go from there.
Next, let's go to Jermaine Farrell from FXR in Roanoke, and then we'll get to Travis.
Good morning, Ian. I hope you're doing well today, sir.
Doing great. Thanks, Jermaine.
Just a couple of questions talking about the bowls. And I know that Liberty has some bowl tie-ins. Could you talk about some of the bowl tie-ins at Liberty they do have there? And then also, I mean, when you look at all these bowl games being canceled, I mean, is it kind of puts you, kind of uneasy a little bit, or you still feel confident Liberty will be one of the names on the bowl list?
Right. So we have a contract with ESPN Events for I think there are 8 bowl tie-ins that they have, and so those would be opportunities for placement for our team. So we just really wait to hear from ESPN as to what opportunities may be presented to us. I think certainly one thing we've learned this year is nothing's guaranteed, either in the regular season or in the bowl season, with all the games being canceled. And certainly we've seen bowl games already canceled, and we understand that there could be additional ones. So this is a year of uncertainty and a year where you really can't guarantee anything. But at the same time, I think certainly the performance of our team during the course of the year makes us very deserving of a bowl game, and I expect that the team will have that opportunity.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Jermaine. Next, let's go to Travis Wells from DBJ7 at Roanoke, and then we'll get back to Damien.
Hey, Ian, those guys kind of covered the bowl situation, but I just want to ask you, for this team to go 9-1 and to be in the national spotlight a good part of the year, can you just put the season in perspective now that the regular season's over? I know, obviously, it was what you envisioned when you got to Liberty and Lynchburg. Yeah,
well certainly there's more work to be done, but to date, you'd have to say this is the most successful season in the history of our program, and just a great credit to Coach Freeze and the team, and just all the accomplishments going back through the 2 ACC wins, beating Virginia Tech and Syracuse, and the incredible start, obviously, and it's been just a magical ride, and we expect that ride to continue a little longer after we complete our pause. And it's again, I can't say enough for the job that this coaching staff's done. When you think about it, just again, our second full year as an FBS program, to be nationally ranked and have an opportunity to get to 10 wins is really, we're so far ahead of schedule, it's really remarkable.
Next question comes from Damien Sorlev from the Lynchburg News and Advance, then we'll go back to Jermaine.
Yeah, I want to ask about scheduling. Since as an independent, it's always something in the back of the mind. And you mentioned in the release that this game against Coastal will be rescheduled at a later date. You mentioned in August when this was announced that you guys were working on a series. Any insight into when this game might be rescheduled and what the series might look like?
Yeah, we'll have to visit with Matt Hogue down at Coastal on that, but I think our games as we have them right now are 2023, 2024, 27, 28, 29. And so if we can do it earlier, we will, but I would expect this game would be perhaps rescheduled around 2030, something like that. I'll be in a rocking chair by then, by the way.
And another, some theories are floating around on social media that with BYU getting the slot that you guys were trying to work out something with them in terms of future games as well. Was that the case, or is it just BYU was available and ESPN felt they could slide them in?
Yeah, the whole arrangement with BYU, we weren't involved in that at all. So, but we again have a great relationship with Coastal and also a great relationship with BYU. We just at this point just have the one series, the home and home with BYU, but certainly it'd be possible to add games further down the road.
All right, let's go back to Jermaine from FXR.
Yeah, real quick, a question regarding the COVID-19 testing protocols. Obviously, with the football team, they've had a great run of success until this week, and the body of work is awesome. But with what happened with the football team, are you looking at, say, the other athletic programs as far as how they're keeping themselves safe and doing some reevaluation, particularly obviously with basketball season going on right now and a lot of cancellations throughout the basketball schedule?
Yeah, we feel our bubble system is as good as any out there. We've been highly successful with it, and not just football, but with our basketball programs. And unfortunately, there's a big uptick nationally right now. There's a big uptick in the state of Virginia, and even here in Lynchburg. There's just a high caseload. So unfortunately, nothing's impenetrable when it comes to COVID-19, and that was certainly regrettable as it relates to football this week. But we feel very good about our protocols, very good about the job that our medical team and our whole staff have done. But it was unfortunate that we got hit hard this week.